Hello, in this session, we'll be taking a brief walkthrough about the whole platform, and I'll be explaining you about how the platform is necessary in the whole influencer marketing spectrum as such. So, to give you an introduction, Qoruz is all about automating the whole influencer marketing process, right from the influencer search to influencer profiling to even in brand monitoring insights as well as campaign reports. So, this is a tool which is backed by influencer analytics of 6 million plus influencer profiles out there. And in India, we have around 2 lakh influencer profiles in our database as such. So the whole tool is divided into three key functionalities. One is the influencer profiling part, where we provide deep analytics of a particular influencer profile with social, demographic, as well as sphere of influence metrics. And the second is the influencer discovery part, where you could search across the database of 6 million plus influencers that we have with different functionalities like keyword based search, bio based search, or category based search as such. And third is the brand monitoring slash reporting insights, which is basically we have two solutions for that. Which one is the hashtag based tracking, where you could get all the insights about a particular campaign, and the second is the brand monitoring, where you could get it's basically a report card for brand when it comes to influencer marketing, and we benchmark it as well. So to start off, I'll start off with a typical influencer profiling about on Chorus. So, a typical influencer profile in Chorus, as I told earlier, consists about three main factors. One is the social profile, where you get all the social insights of a particular influencer. Basically, you will get to see which all platforms an influencer is active on, and what is the engagement, purpose engagement that the influencer gets for that particular platform. And we have a unique scoring mechanism which we call Qoruz scoring. It's basically a 1 to 10 percentile based scoring, which is directly proportional to the engagement that an influencer gets. So in a way, it helps you to analyze which platform an influencer is commanding an influence when compared to other influencers as such. Then we have uh, demographics metrics, where audience demographics, where it gives you an idea about basically the followers of the influencer, where her followers are from, what they do, and what languages they speak, along with a gender-based insight about how many percentage of the followers are male or female as such. We also display the top contents, which are basically the most engaged content of a particular influencer. So this will help you in deriving necessary content inspirations of if you are engaging with this particular influencer. So you could get to know which content will work the best for an influencer and which will work the worst. Plus, we have something unique which is called sphere of influence. So it will help you in understanding how powerful an influencer's network is with other influencers. To give you an example here, Sejal Kumar influences 251 other influencers. So here, Rahul Subramaniam may be an influencer who is an influencer who is either following Sejal Kumar or is liking Sejal Kumar's content in some way or other. So greater this count, higher are the chances of your content getting organically amplified. Because if Rahul Subramaniam either get likes or retweets or shares Sejal Kumar's content, is double the organic amplification that you get without even engaging with Rahul Subramaniam in the end. Plus, the people who influence Sejal Kumar are just the reverse, where you could get to see all the influencers who Sejal Kumar follows or interact with. So probably a share of bigger set of influences will be coming up in the spectrum as such. So this in 251 influencers itself, we have splitted them into super, expert, micro, and budding. So super, it depends entirely on the scoring, where super is someone having a score between 9 and 10. Expert is someone having 7 and 8, micro 5 and 6, and budding everything below that. So what we have observed is super will be all your celebrities, and micro expert will be your micro influencers that is active on the industry right now. And the last part is the brands that influence Sejal Kumar the most. So all the brands which Sejal Kumar has mentioned or interacted with on her social media, that will be coming up here. So you could, if you want to view any of this in a detailed way, you could just click on view on and view it. So this is the Qoruz profiling. So for each individual profile of Qoruz, you will get these following insights. And now I'll move into the search part of Qoruz, where if you want to search a particular influencer as per your campaign needs or campaign requirements, you could search in Qoruz as in four different ways. One is the content search, where you could search influencers posting a particular content. You should first choose a platform, which we have presence in all the five platforms as of now. So you need to first choose the platform, which platform you need to search, and then you need to click on influencers posting related to that particular keyword which you entered. So all the results which will be displayed will be the influencers who will be mentioning that particular keyword. For example, IPL in this case. And we have certain set of filters which ranges from the followers. You could enter a range of followers or the mentions range, which is basically in by default we are showing all the influencers who have mentioned IPL at least 10 times. So if you drag this to say one, obviously the number of influencers will be more, because influencers who are mentioned at least once are coming up in this. And then we have other filters, which is basically the location based filter, where you could search across Indian cities, or as per your location you just need to type and filter the locations as well. The gender split, we have the male female split as well, and we have something called the engagement level split, which is again depending on the Qoruz score. So as I told you earlier, a very high will be having a Qoruz score of 9 and 10, high will be 7 and 8, medium will be 5 and 6, low will be 3 and 4, and very low will be anything below that. So this is directly proportional to the engagement and the Qoruz scoring that we have. So that's the different ways of the filtering out the influencers. And the second part of search in our platform is the bio search, where you could search across the bio of influencers. So in, say, you want to get a niche segment of influence, say if you want to get a influencer who is a yoga instructor, it's more likely that he or she will be mentioning the term yoga in his or her bio. So in those kind of cases, we would recommend you to go with the bio search, where you just need to enter the keyword and do this bio search, and the results will be displayed accordingly as well. The third part of searching is the influencer who interact with a particular brand handle. So if you want to find influencers who have interacted with, say, a particular brand. So to give an example here, if I want to find influencers who have interacted with Flipkart on Instagram, so I could just click on that search, and it will show me all the influencers who have interacted with Flipkart's content in some way or other. For example, here Amit Bhavani has interacted with Flipkart's content 41 times. So by interactions, I mean it can be Amit Bhavani going and liking Flipkart's content, or retweeting Flipkart's content, depending on the platform it changes. Any sort of interactions with Flipkart's content, we'll be quantifying it and we'll be displaying it here. So that's the influencer who interact with kind of search. And suppose if you need to do a broad category search, suppose if you need to find Instagram bloggers out there who are into style and fashion as a domain, you could just click on the desired category and we'll be showing results across that particular category as such. So even for category, we have a scoring from 1 to 100. So which is again a percentile based scoring, and higher the scoring, the more influential he or she is in that particular category as such. So in Qoruz, we have 40 plus categories and subcategories, which include some niche ones like, say, business or investment and finance as such. So that's the influencer discovery part of Qoruz, and we have recently introduced an advanced search feature where it's basically a Boolean search mechanism where you could include, exclude multiple content, bio, handle, or even locations on categories as well. So this will help you to arrive at a certain influencer group that you're looking for your campaign as such. Plus, so these are the influencer search as well as the profiling part of Qoruz. Plus, we have added certain campaign management parts into our tool, which is basically, I'll just guide you through. So after discovering the right set of influencers, if you want to shortlist the influencer, we have shortlisting features where you just need to click on the ribbon and probably shortlist or download the list as an Excel sheet, or and add to a current list within the platform itself, which you could in the end view from the list tab here in itself. Plus, we have certain ways of reaching out to a particular influencer. So to give you an example here, if I want to reach out to Amitabh Bachchan here, I could just click on invite, wherein a pop-up will open up with the email, Twitter, and Facebook details of the particular influencer. So in Qoruz, we of all the active influencers out there, we have like 80 to 85% of the influencers mail IDs with us. So it goes as a direct invitation to their mail IDs as well. So that you could reach out to a particular influencers through that. So apart from this, we have a feature called analysis. So once you selected all the influencers and now you want to further refine or do a pre-campaign evaluation of sorts to understand which influencers will work best for this campaign and which won't, we have a new feature called which is called as influencer analyzer, where you just need to click. I mean, you just need to create a particular analysis, and I'll just show you a sample here. So this is a sample wherein we uploaded a list of 45 influencers that we shortlisted for a particular campaign. So after uploading, the window will be, the dashboard will be configured like this, where the platform itself will be providing insights about which influencer will work best for the campaign and which won't. So for example, here we have color tone based segmentation wherein all the influencers who are in dark green or the green color tone will be the ones who will be working best for this particular campaign, and all those who are having the lower segment of gray or even the red will be those who are having less, who will contribute less for the campaign in the end. So this insights we calculate directly from the cost per engagement, which is calculated from the platform, and we also give a overall relative based comparison based on the cost per engagement for a particular influencer as such. So you could see here that the worst performing influencer is 9.35 times worse than the best performing influencer out there as such. So that's the influencer analyzer part of it, where you will get insights about which influencer will work best and which won't work best for a particular campaign. So this is a pre-campaign influence evaluation layer that we are adding into the tool as well. So along with this influencer evaluation tool, once you upload the list of influencers, we will be also showing the previous content mentions of a particular brand that the influencer has done before. So here, in this sample case, we are going to do this campaign for Budweiser, where this platform is saying that the style cocktail has already mentioned Budweiser before. And when it comes to competition, she hasn't mentioned any competitors as well. So it gives you an understanding about who are the right advocates or who are the right influencers to engage with and who are not. So post this analysis comes the campaign is getting executed and comes the campaign tracking part of it. So that's where our trackers come into play, which is basically a hashtag based tracking, where you, upon clicking on ad tracker and specifying the platform, you just need to mention which hashtag you want to track and click on create. So I'll just show you a sample tracker here. So this is a tracker which we ran for a campaign with the hashtag man company. So the dashboard will show you all the basic insights relevant for the campaign, which can be a time distribution graph about the number of posts or the top contents or top influencers who have mentioned this particular hashtag, or even the word cloud as well as the location distribution of that particular campaign as such. So the word cloud can be word or hashtag cloud as well. So the key is the deliverable of the campaign hashtag reporting lies in the influencer stream as well as content stream, wherein in influencer stream you could get to know who are the key influencers that have talked about this particular hashtag, and user stream will be giving you all the other people who are not necessarily influencers but have talked about that particular hashtag. So in influencer stream itself, we'll be giving you insights about the engagement that a particular influencer got for that particular post where he has mentioned this hashtag. Plus, we have a paid versus earned split as well, where if for example, if an agency has engaged with just 50 influencers for this, and if I am finding like 137 influencers who have mentioned this particular hashtag, that means that the rest 87 are the organic influencers that have talked about my campaign hashtag without engaging with them. So in that case, if I just want to know the performance of just the 50 influencers, what I could do as an agency, I could upload the list of influencers who I have engaged with. In this case, it would be 50, and I could just click on. I could just go to the influencer stream and click on this paid influencers option, where if I go to the paid influencers, it will be just showing me the performance of those influencers which I have uploaded or which I have paid for that particular campaign. So once you click on the paid influencers, you will also see a unique metrics here, which is the cost per engagement. So it will give you an idea about the best influencers in the terms of cost per engagement and the worst influencers in the terms of cost per engagement. So you could notice here that Prince Narula is not that good of an influencer when it comes to cost per engagement when compared to Sumit Vyas, who has a lesser cost per engagement as well. So in short, the campaign analytics or the campaign reporting part of Chorus will give you an insights about a particular influencer campaign specific to matrices of influencer marketing as such. So this campaign, this dashboard is even shareable by a link, or it's also downloadable by in a CSV format as well. So once you're done with the campaign, and as a agency or as a brand, if you want to evaluate the performance of your brand with respect to influencer marketing as a whole and with respect to the competition out there, that's where our Recon solution comes in. So Recon is basically a brand monitoring or brand reporting part of Chorus, where it gives basically the insights about key insights on the influencer marketing reporting matrices. Where for example here, this is a dashboard for Amazon, wherein I could get to know the activity timeline of influencers, basically the number of posts, number of influencers who have been actively mentioning Amazon over a period of time. So this along with the per platform split of the brand mentions out there, and then the expertise level distribution, which will give me an idea about the number of super, micro, expert, and budding influencers who I mentioned about my brand as the Amazon as such. So as I told you earlier, super influencers, super, micro, expert, this categorization done purely based on the Chorus scoring out there. And then we have category wise distribution, which will give me an idea about the key categories of influencers mentioning about Amazon, along with the keyword and hashtag cloud, which is the most mentioned words along with the keyword Amazon, which is being tracked here. So all these insights, if you see, this dashboard is pertaining to a particular brand, and the key application of brand monitor lies in the competition, where we would put all the competitors in the insights as well. So here you could see that in the activity comparison itself, we are putting all the competitors, which includes Flipkart, Snapdeal, and ShopClose, into the timeline part of it. And then we have something unique called influencer marketing effectiveness, which will give you an understanding about where your brand stands among your competition. So here you could see that Flipkart is in the actively engaged category. That means that despite posting a lot, they are getting good engagement as well. So the worst case scenario is to be in that aggressive category where you are posting a lot but not getting good engagement as well. So the category wise distribution will is where we are putting all the other brands into it, and you could possibly do a comparison about your competitors as well among the key conversations that happen with your competitions as well. And the final metric is the share of voice, where you among the super, expert, micro, and budding, you could get to know the share of brands which are mentioned by the influencers out there. So you could see here that Flipkart is mentioned most by super, expert, micro, and among all the categories. Maybe that's why they are belonging in the actively engaged category in the end. So the brand monitor, as you could see, helps. It gives an overall report about your brand's influencer marketing performance. Along with that, we have other matrices like influencer stream, where it will give you an idea about the key advocates and adversaries mentioning about your brand, as well as we add a sentiment layer over to the content stream as well. So that's the overall view about, overall solutions about Chorus. Plus, we have something unique, which is a customized dashboard of sorts, which is called Networks, where as an agency, if you or as a brand, if you are engaging with a lot of influencers, you could possibly upload the list of influencers in the dashboard in itself, and you could possibly edit all those information which is right now not there in the platform. So for example here, Two Traveling Sisters, the platform doesn't provide the cost as well as the contact details of the particular influencer, which you upon uploading on My Networks is something which you could add. So all those which are in the gray area is something where you could add or edit the details of for each influencers, and you could possibly run an advanced search right away from the platform as well. So that's the whole explanation about the solutions of the Chorus. So as I told you earlier, right from the influencer search part to eventually the brand monitoring as well as the competition insight part, Chorus aims to automate the whole influencer marketing process, and thereby making the whole process efficient as well as time saving in the end, because as you know, a lot of time gets wasted on discovering the right set of influencers and engaging with them and eventually executing the whole campaign as a whole as such. So that's where Chorus comes into play, where it helps you in effectivizing the whole process as such. So that's all from my part. Thank you.